welcome back. I hope you had a wonderful week and you're ready for another gadget talk. So let's talk gadgets. Actually, today we won't be talking about gadgets per se, but where we get them. That is the airports. I'll be talking about my favorite airports and the ones that I think are really easy to navigate and that I think are the best so far from those I have been in. So stick around, let's talk gadgets. So let's talk airports. It's a little different, but still related to gadgets, that's for sure. So today I'm talking about my favorite airports from the ones that I've traveled so far. I decided to talk about the ones that I think are the best, the most functional, easier to navigate, etc. etc. In the future, I may do another video about the ones that I think are not so good. Um, I know that I've made one already about one airport that I think was horrible, and that was Kuala Lumpur, and I know I did that. But there's a few more that I think, although are not that bad, that may be sometimes a little bit more confusing and harder to, navigate through. But today I'm talking about two airports that I think are the best airports. And I'm going to start by London Heathrow. I think for me, London Heathrow is one of the best airports. Yes, a lot of people claim it's a huge airport. It's got a lot of terminals. You have to get on a bus, or apparently now there's even a train, and you can navigate through the terminals. And some people think it's complicated. I don't think that is complicated at all, because you have great signage. You know exactly where you should go. The connecting flight signage, it's everywhere, and you know exactly what you need to do and where you need to go. My experience at Heathrow was always good, and believe me, I spent a lot of hours in there, because when I used to fly from Lisbon to Sydney, as I said before, with British Airways, I would get a flight from Lisbon to London Heathrow, and then I would have to wait around 5 hours at Heathrow for my next flight, which would be the flight from Heathrow to Sydney, with a stopover usually in Singapore or Bangkok. I think I did twice. The stopover was in Bangkok, and my last flight with British Airways, it was in Singapore. So, and on these 5 hours that I had to spend in Heathrow, and believe me, it wasn't, I cannot say it was 100% pleasant, because I was flying alone, and it's always a little bit more boring if you are completely alone and you don't have anyone to talk to. But I always try to explore the airport, and there's plenty of shops, there's plenty of things to do there. You can just go and have a look if you like your shopping, which unfortunately I'm not that keen in shopping either. But if you really like your shopping, you have plenty of things to do in Heathrow. And I think overall is a very good airport, because it's easy to navigate. I think for me, and when I review an airport, I don't review it by size per se, but by functionality. And I think Heathrow is really functional, because you know where you need to go, you know what you need to do. Obviously, you need to speak English. That's a must. But I think that is a reality in every airport that you fly. At least English you need to know. And I think Heathrow is easy, because you just follow the signs and they are all there. You know that, for example, if you come from a flight that stops in, let's say, Terminal 3, and then you have to go to Terminal 5, you will have the signage, you will have all the information, so you know where to go and where to get the bus. And it's not difficult to get those buses. I remember getting on those. And you get to your destination relatively easy, without any issues whatsoever. I remember once that there was a little bit of a delay on the flight from Lisbon to Heathrow, and I was concerned. But then it was all good, and didn't have problem because I got the latest flight. I usually took the flight around lunchtime, and on that day I decided to take the one in the afternoon so I would have less waiting in Heathrow. And I realized it was a big mistake because sometimes, delays happen, bad weather, whatever, and flights can be delayed. And then you just start stressing because if you get to your connection airport, you won't get to your flight, and there will be horrible. And I was really thinking that if I missed that flight to Sydney, I would have to stay the whole day in Heathrow. It would be horrible. So, but didn't happen. Didn't happen. I got there on time, and I managed to go. I think from at the time from Terminal 3 to Terminal 5, and I managed to travel along and get to my flight to Sydney on time, and everything went smoothly, as I said, because the airport is really well signed and it's easy to navigate. Another airport that I really, really enjoyed, and I was there on my last trip to Portugal, was Singapore airport. As I said, on my last trip from Heathrow to Sydney, I stopped in Singapore, but back then we were allowed to stay in the plane, and I was not keen in going to the airport because usually it's very hot, and I preferred to stay in the cabin where there was air conditioning and it was a little bit more pleasant. So I didn't experience the airport, but last time I did because I changed flights, etc. And I think Changi Airport is really, really beautiful. It's not only easy to navigate, again, very good signage, but the airport itself, it's beautiful. They have all this greenery, all these trees, all these water features, the shops, the restaurants, the color. It's very colorful, very beautiful. It is definitely a very, very pleasant place to be. I was there again. I was there for a few hours, and the experience was really, really, really pleasant because the airport is really enjoyable. Everything in there is not boring, is not plain, is not unpleasant, or or it doesn't make you stress because of bad signage, or difficulties, or long distances, or whatever. Yeah, you have some distances to walk, of course, but that happens in any airport. But everything is well signed. The signage is really, really good, and the airport inside is just amazing. The greenery, the spaces, and you have these green spaces everywhere, so it really doesn't look like you are in an airport. It has this nature feeling attached to it, which I think is amazing. Let alone the people, they are very, very friendly. You go anywhere in Thailand, and Thai people, they are extremely friendly, and it was really, really incredible being there and experiencing that. Again, in Heathrow, they are friendly as well. I really enjoyed it. And as I said, for example, British Airways crews, they are very friendly. One of my favorite airlines. But now we are, at the airport, they very friendly as well. I never had a problem in Heathrow Airport. I think people are nice and friendly, and I never had a complaint. And the same in Singapore. People are extremely friendly, and the airport is nice, it's clean, it's everything. If you have to spend a few hours there, it won't be boring, it won't be unpleasant, because there's things to do, and they even have Wi-Fi stations where you just can go and do something. I remember I checked my email and things like that. So it's really good. It's a really good airport. These are definitely my two favorite airports. What are yours? Let me know. And that's all for today. I hope you liked this new gadget report about airports. I hope you liked my suggestions, and if you have another airport that you would like to add to the list, please do. Or if you have a different experience from any of these two airports I mentioned today, please share as well. I'm sure that there will be people that may have not had the same experiences that I had. However, this was, as I said again, my 5 cents, my opinion. It was my experience, and so far, these two have been the best two airports I have been to. I recommend airlines that go through these airports, and I think if you have to have a long wait at the airport, these are the best airports to do that, because you have more to do, and you are in a place that you feel, first of all, that you feel safe, and I think that's very important. And secondly, a place that it just don't feel bored. And definitely, for example, in Singapore, you won't. It's so beautiful that you definitely won't feel bored. So, and put a like on the video, share with us your opinion, and share with your friends so we pass the message. And subscribe the channel with a little click on the bell so you get a notification of a new gadget report every week. Before I go, I would like to thank you all for watching. See you next week. Thank you. Bye. Have a good one.